I have been trying to listen to you all speak in the last couple of weeks and trying to decide what are things that we can work on. Okay, because the book kind of helps, and ESL library kind of helps. So I'm trying to think, when I was listening to you, thinking of things that we can work on together. So what I've been noticing is a lot of the time when we talk and we use phrasal verbs, or you use phrasal verbs, you know how to say them, but you will get the order of the words incorrect. Okay? So I understand perfectly what you are saying, but technically it's not grammatically correct. And that is something that I've listened to a lot. So for example, like, I'm trying to think. Well, we'll look at it with phrasal verbs and you'll see where you are putting the direct pronoun, the it, the he, the she, the them, right? Instead of saying it correctly in the correct order, sometimes we switch it. And it's a very small thing, but we use it a lot. So I found a lesson about it tonight that I wanted to look at together. Okay, but first I want to look at page 58 in your student book. Okay, I asked you to read page 58 in your student book for homework. If you did not, that's okay. But on Monday, we talked more about small talk. And I wanted to look just quickly and finish. This is a phrasal verb. We say, I want to wrap up the lesson. To wrap up the lesson. It means to finish it. Like if when you are wrapping a present, like I'm going to wrap all of my Christmas gifts, it starts with a W. It's W-R-A-P. I'm going to wrap a present. If I say I'm going to wrap up a lesson, imagine like you're finishing a present and then you put a little bow on top and you have wrapped it up and you're done. So when I say we're going to wrap up this lesson, it means we're going to finish it and be done. That is one phrasal verb, wrap up. Okay? But here's an example of what we would say. So I would say I'm going to wrap it up. Wrap up the lesson. Wrap it up. But sometimes I hear you guys say, wrap up it. I'm going to wrap up it. Right? But that's not what you would say. Or like if you're saying, oh, I'm going to go pick up my daughter. Instead of saying pick her up, I'm going to pick her up. Mm-hmm. I've heard you say, I'm going to pick up her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I understand what you're saying.
I am always saying that.
But it's not right. That's it. These are things I've been like this year, this level 5, I've been trying so hard to think, what are small things that in levels 2, 3, and 4, I would say, oh, that's close. That's good. That in level 5, I can't say, oh well, that's good enough. I'm like, no, that's a bad teacher. I need to say, no, we need to fix these things. So this is things that I've heard both on Monday and last Wednesday. You would say, yeah, I need to pick up her from school, right? But it's pick her up. So we're going to learn with phrasal verbs tonight when to put the object, the direct object, the her, the him, the they, the it, those are direct objects. Where do we put those when we are talking in phrasal verbs? Okay, so we will talk about that tonight and then next week some. But first, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap up our lesson on small talk. Okay, so page 58, it just has 7 different strategies, and I'm just going to read this paragraph out loud naturally to you, and then we'll talk about it for just a couple of minutes, and then we will be done. Okay, it says, strategies for successful small talk. Opportunities for small talk can happen anywhere. On an airplane, in the school cafeteria, in line for a concert, or before an office meeting. But how do you start a conversation? How do you end it politely? And what should you do in between? Below are tips that will help you fit in just about anywhere. Fit in is another phrasal verb. Number 1, Prepare a list of neutral conversation starters that you can call on in any situation. Call on is another phrasal verb. Excuse me is always a good way to get someone's attention before you engage them with a question, such as, do you have time? Or where's the bus stop? Or it's not supposed to rain, is it? That's a tag question. Learn phrases for exiting, leaving, from conversations gracefully. It means smoothly, correctly. Useful expressions include, it's been great talking to you, but I really have to go. Or, it was nice talking to you. Or, excuse me, I have to leave or go get my daughter or whatever. As you are walking away, you can add, take care, see you later, or take it easy. Okay, we say all of those things. Take care. Okay, see you later, or take it easy. Just means like don't take life seriously. Just take it easy. Be smooth. Number 3, work on your listening skills and practice making listening sounds. I see. Yes, of course. Uh-huh. Really? Or wow. Show that you are listening and focused on what the other person is saying. Number 4, use positive body language. Use a mirror to practice smiling, making eye contact, and nodding. This is nodding. Yes or no.
Nodding.
Nodding. To nod. Yes, no. Yeah. Americans will interpret these behaviors as signals that you are paying attention. Number 5, learn how to interrupt politely. Say, excuse me, pardon me, or sorry, and then follow up with a question about what the speaker has just said. In American culture, it is not always rude to cut in, that's a phrasal verb, when another person is speaking. On the contrary, that means in contrast or contrastly. Interrupting sometimes shows that you are actively involved in the conversation. Number 6, write down funny stories you hear or interesting experiences you've had. Then practice saying them aloud. Telling a funny story is an excellent way to break the ice. Number 7, most of all, don't be shy. In the United States, it is normal to start up a casual conversation with someone you've never met before. So the next time you're standing in line at the supermarket, don't be afraid to say to the person in front of you, nice day, isn't it? Okay. So we saw, yes? Oh, I thought we had
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So it says, check your understanding on page 59, but I just wanted, so it says, I just want to do number 2 and 3. It says, imagine you are a passenger on an airplane and the person sitting next to you just took a break, right? They stopped reading their book. What could you say to make small talk? What are some things you could say?
Could you repeat, please?
Yeah, it says, imagine, right? This is a story. You are a passenger on an airplane and the person sitting next to you just took a break from reading their book. So they were reading their book and now they kind of put it away and they're kind of looking and they're just not really doing anything. What could you say to make small talk? What could you say to them?
What kind of book were you reading?
Ah, that's a good one. Yeah. What kind of book is that? What kind of book are you reading?
It is cold here, isn't it?
Good. Yeah, it is cold in here, isn't it? Perfect. What are other things you could say?
I like your dress.
Yes, I like your dress.
This is so good.
Yeah, these are all really good. I like your dress. Good. What else?
You can talk about the city you are going to.
Ah, yes. You can talk about, I'm heading back home to to Texas. Where are you going, for example? Yeah, good. What are other examples of ways to make small talk? These are all very good, right? Because we are staying away from things that in the United States you don't talk about, like politics and religion and someone's weight and those kinds of things, and saying, oh yeah, where are you going? I like that book you're reading. I really like your dress. It's cold in here, isn't it? These are all really good things. And if you are not comfortable, just always just looking and just a little small smile, right? Just smiling is good, and not ignoring someone sitting next to you or standing next to you or whatever. Yeah, these are good. Are there any oh, that was the other question. It says of the 7 tips, so I gave you 7 tips, which ones have you already tried? Look at the 7 tips. Have you tried any of these?
Yes.
Said
Many
Eddie, which ones have you tried?
For example, when I say excuse me, and I want something like the time or something like I want.
Yes.
Sometimes, excuse me.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, excuse me, sorry, what time is it? Right? That's perfect. Yeah, saying excuse me to get someone's attention. Yes. What are other ones that you have used?
Did you see the game? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Did you see the game yesterday? Because it's the final for baseball. This is a good
Because what? I'm sorry.
final.
What did you say, Vanessa?
Oh.
I don't know if she hears us.
Did you see the game yesterday?
Ah, yes. Did you see the game yesterday? Yeah. Yeah, or if there's a popular
Baseball game.
or something. Yeah, the baseball game. Yes, good. Melvin, what were you going to say?
Oh, I say I use take it easy with my partner and funny stories too.
Ah, yeah, of course you do.
Yeah,
That does not surprise me.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
funny guy. I am too, and we talk something funny.
Yeah, talk about funny things or stories
Funny.
that happened. Yeah. And saying,
Yes.
take it easy. Yeah, that's a good thing to say.
Yeah.
I have a question about the pardon me. How you pronounce, because many people say pardon like that.
Yeah, pardon me. Pardon me.
But sometimes I hear they say pardon, like just use pardon.
Yeah, you can just use pardon. Like, oh, pardon. Like, it means excuse me. So you can say pardon me or just pardon.
Pardon.
Yeah, pardon. Usually you say pardon me, I think. It's a Canadian thing, actually.
Oh,
Is it what?
Pardon me comes from Canada and excuse me comes from the US, in English anyway.
Oh.
I think it, like pardon, French. I think pardon.
Yeah,
French.
perdón. Yeah, it's French, which in Canada, their second language is French. So it makes sense. Yeah.
Lydia, neutral conversation. I can say this person is neutral, like fair or no.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you said, for example, I said, which color do you like more, red or purple? And you really don't care, you might say, oh, I'm neutral. Like, I'm in between. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm neutral, I'm in between. So that one, in that case, it's like, it doesn't, like, I don't really care. But if you wanted to say that someone is fair, then you could also say neutral. So you could say like they're a neutral party, like they're like they are not going to pick one side or another side. They are going to stay neutral, stay fair. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you say a neutral conversation, it just means a conversation that is not about something that could make opinions different, like politics. If you said, oh, which president do you like? That's not a neutral conversation. Someone's going to have an opinion,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or what religion are you, right? Or do you believe in God? Those are things that are not a neutral conversation. So you probably would
Okay.
not ask those things to someone that you did not know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good questions. Yeah. Are there any other questions about small talk in general before we wrap it up? No? Kind of an interesting topic. I think it's interesting to look at it and compare it to our own cultures, right? And what looks different than what it is in the United States. Anyway, okay, cool. That was good. That was good. Let's move on then to phrasal verbs tonight. Okay, so we are going to talk about phrasal verbs, which will help you with your language when you get the pronoun or the object pronoun a little bit incorrectly, depending on where the sentence is. Okay, so we are going this. Okay, so we are going to look at, just a minute, let's see if I can close this. There we go. We are going to look at phrasal verbs and all different kinds of phrasal verbs. But first, at the top, if you were not here in, well, all of you are actually here in level 4. So we talked about them a little bit, but this lesson is more detailed, has more detail. Okay, so I can send you this. Just make sure you have a paper and something to write with, a pen or a pencil, okay, because this is not in your book, okay, but it is important. And I can send you this as well, okay? So first, it says, what is a phrasal verb, right? What is a phrasal verb? This says phrasal verbs are verbs that have a particle or an adverb, okay? So it can be a preposition or an adverb. Okay, so an adverb describes a verb, and a preposition are things like up, over, off, into, out of, right? Remember we said in between, around, through, up, down, in, out. These are all of. Those are all prepositions. And in level 4, we studied prepositional phrases often. Okay, so that's what a preposition is. And an adverb describes a noun, or I'm sorry, describes a verb, not a noun, comes after the noun. Okay, so a phrasal verbs are verbs that have a particle, so something else, and it can change the meaning of the words when you put them together. Okay, so it says phrasal verbs, are often idiomatic. This means they do not have the literal or actual meaning of the verb or the particle. Okay, so for example, these are some phrasal verbs, okay, but they are different depending on the meaning. So if I say, I looked up at the sky, that is not a phrasal verb because it literally means you looked up. Okay, so if it literally means my eyes went up and looked at the sky, then that's not a phrasal verb, right? I looked up. But what if I say, I looked up a word in my dictionary? Have you ever heard that before?
Yes.
I looked up the answer online.
Is the same look for?
It means I checked. It kind of like looked for, but it means not like I searched for it. It means I went to this resource, to the dictionary, to the internet, and I looked up the answer. It means I found the answer. I checked and I found the answer. So you might say like, oh, I really, really want to make blueberry muffins tonight. Your friend might say, well, let's look up a recipe online. Let's look up a recipe online. Let's look it up. Not let's look up it.
Look.
Okay? Phrasal verbs, you put the direct object in the middle. So you can say look up the recipe or look it up. Not look up it. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Okay, but a phrasal verb is idiomatic. It's not literal. Okay, so if I say I looked up a word in the dictionary, it means I checked. I went to go see it online in the dictionary, right? I looked it up. Okay. The second phrasal verb they have is put on. So if I say I put the book on the table, that's not a phrasal verb because you literally did put the book on the table. But if I say I put on my sweater, now it's a phrasal verb, right? Because it means to add clothing to myself. I put on my sweater. I put my sweater on. In that case, you can do either one. We'll talk about that. But then you could say, I put it on, not I put on it. Okay?
Ooh.
The next one is call on. So if I say to you, call the number on the card or on the paper, right? That's not a phrasal verb because the number is literally on the paper. But if I say, okay, I am going to call on Melvin for the next answer, that means that I am looking for someone to answer a question. I'm calling on you. Okay, so if I say I'm calling on Melvin to answer the question, I'm not going to pick up my phone and call Melvin. Right? It means I'm going to say, I need you to answer the question. I'm going to call on him. Okay? That's another phrasal verb. So you can see where the phrasal verbs have different meanings than the literal verbs. Okay? The next one says do over. So if I said, I did my workout over there, not a phrasal verb, because I literally did my workout over there. But if I say to you, oh, whatever, oh, John, your test was not good. You need to do that test over. That means you need to do the test again. You need to do that test over. You need to do the test again. Means complete it again. Okay, so do you see how some of them are phrasal verbs and then some of them are not, and they say the same thing, but they have a different meaning because they are idiomatic, because of the particle. Okay, so these are just examples that show you which one is a phrasal verb and which one is not. Okay. Then phrasal verbs, these are all the same. This is all phrasal verbs. It's just showing you different things you can do. So some of them, it says like all verbs in English, phrasal verbs can be transitive or intransitive. Transitive verbs need a direct object to complete the sentence. Okay, so for example, Maria looked up the answer. The answer is your direct object. So you can't just say Maria looked up, because if you said that, it would literally mean she put her eyes up. But if I say, oh, Maria looked up the answer to your question, now it's a phrasal verb. Okay, it's a transitive verb. It needs to have a direct object. Okay, or my father filled out the form at the doctor's office. So what if when I say filled out, what does that mean? He filled out the form at the doctor's office. Filled out is a phrasal verb.
Put information.
Write down the
Write
information
down.
on paper.
Yeah, he wrote the information down on paper. What if I said to, I won't choose any of you. What if I said to John, John, you have filled out. Does anyone know what that means?
What?
It means he's gotten fat.
Yeah.
He's
I was-
filled out. He's gotten bigger. He has filled, like filling like a hole, like to fill something. He is getting fuller. So if you say to someone, you have filled out, that's like saying you've gotten fatter. But that's why you have to say, you have filled out the form, correct? Okay.
Okay. Oh, don't worry.
Okay. We'll keep going, and it always makes sense when we keep going. So don't tell someone they filled out unless you finish the sentence. You filled out the paper, the form, the test. Don't just tell someone they filled out. I know you Spanish speakers can call people fat and it's not offensive. It's offensive here. Okay. Then you have intransitive verbs that do not need a direct object to complete the sentence. Okay, so you could say, she came over. She came over. What does that mean?
Come to visit me.
Yeah, she came to visit, came to someone's house, right? Yeah, my friend came over. When? Oh, yesterday. Whatever. Okay. Or they got back at 10 p.m. So you could say they got back. What time did they get back? At 10 p.m. Got back means returned. They returned. They got back. Yeah, they got back at like 10 o'clock, I think. We use these a lot. So if you are not familiar with one of these, that is okay, but write it down because we use these a lot. I say that all the time. Like, what time are you getting back? Oh, I think I'm going to get back around 2 o'clock. Okay. What time are you getting back? They got back. Okay. So other phrasal verbs to look at, because we'll go over them, are throw away, to put something in the trash, or put something like I threw away my old socks. I think we know that one. But you're not literally throwing something, right? You're not throwing, like throwing a ball. No. You're throwing something in the trash, to throw away, to put something in the trash. Okay. The ones we
Teacher
talked
is,
about- yes?
sorry, it's correct to say throw away the garbage.
Yes.
Okay.
Garbage and trash mean the same thing.
Yeah.
You can use them, no, either one is the same.
Yeah. But,
You know, throw the garbage away.
Throw the garbage away. Yep.
All right.
Or throw it away.
Throw it away.
Don't say throw away it.
Don't say don't throw away.
El nombre lo puso al final.
Throw it away, not throw away it. Okay. What about get along? We talked about this one before. When we talked
Yeah.
about relationships. When you
Yeah.
get along with someone, what does that mean?
You have a
Good-
good relationship.
Good relationship.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and that's a phrasal verb, to get along with someone. So if the example says, my brothers don't get along, they don't have a good relationship. What about hand in? We've talked about this too. So it's not literally your hand going into something, right? If I said to you, please hand in your homework, what does that mean?
Pass the homework to you.
Yeah, to give something over to someone. We have not done that since March, but usually when we are in class together, I say, everyone please hand in your homework,
Yeah.
right? And I grade your homework. Please hand in your homework, or please hand it in, not hand in it. Okay. And then we talked about come over, right? If I say come over to my house tonight, right? I'm not telling you to go over something literally, like over, under. I'm telling you, I'm inviting you to my house. Come over after school.
Is specifically for houses?
Yes.
An apartment.
Or yeah, like an apartment or whatever. But I could, like, if I were
But
shopping
mean,
at TJ Maxx and my friend wanted to come, I wouldn't say come over to TJ Maxx. I would say come to the store. So I think it's more personal. Like we use it more like come over to my house or to my apartment or to whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you were even like at church or something and you're like you wanted to invite your friend to church, you wouldn't say come over to church. You would just say come to church.
okay.
But you would say come over to my house. So yes, it's more like house or apartment specific, like your home
Okay.
is where we use it most often. Yeah, good question. Okay. Okay, here's a couple other ones. Pick up. I need to pick up my mother from the airport. Right? Or I need to pick her up, not pick up her. Pick up, it means to get her, to give someone a ride, right? To drive and get someone from where they are and bring them somewhere. To pick them up. To give someone a ride, to bring someone somewhere. That's the meaning. Okay. Or there's a second meaning to the word pick up. It means to lift. I picked up the puppy and held it in my arms. To lift, right? I pick up my phone. I pick up the marker. It means to lift something. Okay. So some of them have two different meanings. Okay, and pick up is one of them. It means to lift or to give someone a ride.
It's right to say I pick up my mom and I pick her up. I can't say I pick up her, right?
Correct. I pick her up or I pick up my mom.
Okay.
Not I pick up her.
Okay.
Okay. Or I picked in the past, I picked her up yesterday. I will pick her up tomorrow. Not I will pick up her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's only if it's indirect pronoun. You could say, I